one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3.
Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing would admit to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Poor tackling.
What happened between you and Talib on the field early in the game?
I don't know, you gonna ask him, cause he didn't finish the game. Ice up, son, ice up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that that little voice crack right there in the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, kicking it with Saint. Now, this was supposed to be a Monday Night Football recap. Supposed to be that. I was so irritated watching Monday Night Football, and I'm going to talk about that towards the back end of this show. I was so irritated with Monday Night Football, I said to myself, I'll just put that into the trade deadline video that I make at the trade deadline. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. But how is everybody doing out there? I hope everybody out there is having a dope day. I am Saint. This is Kicking It with Saint on Saint's World. I really got to go get Kicking It with Saint licensed or whatever it's called, patented, so nobody can steal it in the future. But how is everybody doing out there? I hope you did something to make somebody's day better today. Now, listen. We live in a world where you can go out and try to make somebody's day better, and they will pay you no attention. Okay, they will not appreciate the kind gestures. They will not appreciate your kindness, the love that you give to them, and instead they will go search for that love with people who don't really care too much about them, who put on a front to like them because they need something from them right now. We live in that type of world where your appreciation and gratitude for somebody and love and the things you do for somebody go unnoticed. They go unappreciated because they rather have somebody who they know. Well, not even necessarily somebody they know, somebody that they want doing that for them. That's where they go search for, even though that someone is never thinking about doing that for them. That's okay. That don't mean you stop giving out. I had to learn that myself. That don't mean you stop giving out the love. That means you be smarter with it. Absolutely. But still go out there and make people's day better. Still go out there and treat people with respect. Still go out there and treat people good. Treat people the way you go. It's nothing to put a smile on somebody's face. It's nothing to go out there and try to make somebody smile, to help somebody out at a grocery store today, to help somebody cross the street. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to help somebody, to make somebody's day a little bit better, even though it might not be going the best for you. I believe in you. You got this in you to where you can bless others without always necessarily looking for that blessing in return. I get it. We give out a lot of love nowadays. It's not reciprocated. I get it. So if you need to take a break for a second, do that. If you need to get a sip of water, a refresher, a mental break, do that. But when you're done, get back to helping make this world a better place, man. A more loving, kind place, all right? But we got some trades to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some trades to talk about. The trade line winners and losers. I know that is a thing that most people do. You know, I don't care about the winners and losers. I could care, to be honest with you, I don't know what a winner and because I'm going to tell you the trades that I like and that I didn't like. And I'm not going to go over every single trade that happened throughout this season. I am going to mention one that happened last week, but most of the trades I'm talking about happened today. Okay. It's a couple trades on here that I like. One of the trades that I like that happened is, I'm on the fence rather, but we'll get to it when we get to it. The Seahawks. But matter of fact, let me talk about the Eagles real quick, because the Eagles made a trade for Kevin Byard from the Titans about a week ago. They did that about a week ago, and that was a great trade at the time. I didn't really talk about it. That is a great trade. The Eagles needed a safety, especially after you lost Gardner Johnson. What is this man's name? CJ Gardner Johnson. He changed his name to something else. Either way, when you lost him in free agency, I did think that they needed to replace him. This is a great. Kevin Byard is one of the better. I would have to sit down and go over all the safeties to know if he is still a top 5 safety. But Kevin Byard is a great safety, and I can only imagine playing with a winning organization. And the Titans were winning when he was over there, but they had a cap on how far they could get. There's no cap. There's no limit to success for the Eagles. They are limitless. It's a lot. I told you, I really think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC right now. So I love this trade. My problem with the Eagles is the defense. I think that the defense let them down last year in the Super Bowl. And just from what I'm seeing, I don't think the Eagles are a bad team. I don't think the Eagles are a team that don't know, they struggling to pull out wins. They got to a Super Bowl last year. They understand what it takes to get there. They don't. Last year you was trying to prove we here. People know they here now. So they just trying to get them work their way back to the Super Bowl and be healthy on the way there. So I'm not mad at them for that. Kevin Byard is a great addition though, because the secondary of the Eagles for me is hit and miss. Darius Slay getting older and he hurt sometimes. My man opposite of him, whose name just completely slipped my mind. I don't know how my man's name slipped my mind. Good corner opposite of him, but not a great corner in my mind. He have slips in his game at times. I think, though, when you put this many, because I still think all of these players are still good players, above average players. If you put them all together, and I just think if Kevin Byard can pick up this system quick, the Eagles secondary will definitely get a jolt. I'm not telling you this to Kevin Byard from like 4 years ago when he was on Twitter and Deion Sanders didn't know who he was. That's when he was like entering his prime. But Kevin Byard is still, to me, like I would go out and get a Kevin Byard if my team needed a safety. To me, that's a great trade by the Eagles. And Howie Roseman just continues to prove, or whoever the GM is, if I got his name, it's not even Howie. It's Howie, the owner. I cannot remember the GM's name at the moment. The Eagles organization just continues to prove that they are about winning, bro. They will go to the ends of the earth to try to win. And they smartly do it. Like I hate to do this because, I love this team. The Rams could probably now I can't knock the Rams because they still won a Super Bowl. However, look at how the Eagles have put together this team and how they sustaining it over now it's only been 2 years. So we'll see how this ultimately play out and how long they can keep this many talented players. But the Eagles go out. They bring in talent, and it's legitimate talent that could make it to. They don't go out and trade for guys who don't move the needle, who they have to guess, could he move? They go out and get guys who have a high upside for them. And if they flame out for them, then that's just a miss for us. But we tried. They literally go make moves where you cannot say the Eagles are not trying to win a Super Bowl. When you go get a Kevin Byard, they made another trade that I like too, and I cannot remember who it is, but when you go get a Kevin Byard, Julio Jones, I don't know how I forgot it. They signed Julio. I like that. Like, to me, the Eagles are doing things because You never can have too many great pass catchers. I don't care what y'all say about Julio. That will always be my favorite receiver. I got to watch Julio's entire career, so I got to watch him in his prime. That is the way I feel about Tyreek. Multiply that by 10 when it comes to Julio. Julio is unreal. That is a great signing to me, even because the upside of a Julio, if he can stay healthy and be great for you, is high. If he injury prone like he been the last couple years, then we missed on that one. But it costs us nothing to go get Kevin Byard. If he can still be a great player, the upside for us is huge. If he isn't, fine. We lose nothing, basically. That, to me, is an organization that understands winning. That is an organization that understands the players that we have on this roster right now, we won't have on this roster forever in this collection that we have them. We need to go strike while the iron is hot and exhaust every single opportunity we have to win a Super Bowl. And that's exactly what they are doing. And for the people who say you can't make moves or you can't trade or sign dudes when your quarterback making a certain type of money, the Eagles keep proving that they proving that otherwise, huh? They signed a quarterback. They got A.J. Brown signed. Like, excuse me, still going out there making trades. So for me, I just think the Eagles are a class organization right now. What they are doing to try to get over that hump, to get to back and win the Super Bowl this time, it's unbelievable to me. Another trade that I absolutely love, the Seahawks trade. Leonard Williams, bringing in a defensive tackle, well, wherever you're going to play him on the line. He play outside, sometimes on the line. He play inside most of the time. That's how he came in. I like Leonard Williams, and I like the Giants doing this. Now, I'm not quite sure what the Seahawks gave up to get Leonard Williams yet. I can't imagine it was a first-round pick. But this is the exact type of move that I imagine a contending team should be making. Leonard Williams will move the needle for the Seahawks if he is great while he is there. And I have no reason to believe he won't be great when he is with the Seahawks. This is the exact type of move that the Seahawks make, and you re-sign Leonard Williams to a longer-term contract if he isn't already on an extended contract. Leonard Williams is perfect for the Seahawks. You bring him into the middle. They haven't, the best offense. I don't know the best offensive lineman they've had since the years of Averill coming off the line, Bennett coming off the line. Like, what's my other man? You had Cliff, you had Bennett. It was another dude. I'm forgetting his name at the moment, but the Seahawks haven't had that type of pass rush in years. And shout out to Michael Bennett. Anytime I can talk about that stud, I'm going to. Because he used to single-handedly, bro. I will never forget the Super Bowl this dude had against the Patriots, bro. But they haven't had that type of pass rush in a while. They haven't had those type of guys you can rely on in a while. So to go out and get a Leonard Williams, a guy who can stop the run for you and provide a pass rush for you, I'm not telling you that this is an Aaron Donald. I'm not telling you that this is, oh my God, I forgot the other defensive tackle's name. Jesus Christ. Jesus, bro, y'all know who I'm talking about, bro. The other great defensive tackle, bro. Sometimes they be Chris Jones. I'm not telling you that he a Chris Jones. I'm not telling you he a Aaron Donald. And it's actually another defensive tackle also who I'm about to have to remember his name. You know the 3 top tier defensive tackles in the league that I'm talking about. I'm not telling you Leonard Williams is one of those dudes, but what I am telling, nobody is Aaron Donald. But what I am telling you is he can get there with the Seahawks. Now, I told you what I expected from the Seahawks in the offseason. They haven't quite been that, but they're getting better week by week. So maybe they're starting to round into what I thought they could be. The Seahawks, to me, when you make this addition, and man, this would be such a phenomenal addition, if not for the other team in their division making a move to basically counteract it. But this is a great move, in my opinion. This is, to me, the Seahawks should make sure they can find a way to get him locked up long term. I just think Leonard Williams has not been a part of a great team in so long. He haven't been a part of a team that he know year in, year out going to be competing for a championship. Now, I don't know exactly how to feel about Geno over these last couple weeks and if you can truly get to a Super Bowl with Geno. But what I do know is Russell Wilson was not the Russell Wilson he became when they won their first Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. He was still a young quarterback who couldn't do half of what he do now. Probably couldn't do half of what Geno do now. So if the Seahawks can find a way to if they can find a way to put together a team that can overcome everything that Geno might not be able to do? I'm telling you. Now, I also think something that can help the Seahawks out tremendously. And this is going to sound crazy. I think they need to fire 2 people. And this is going to sound so crazy because both of them are doing good jobs. I think they need to fire the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator. Oh, Saint, what are you talking about, bro? The offensive, I've seen enough of the offensive coordinator, to be completely honest with you. It's not that he's not a good offensive coordinator. It's that he is too inconsistent. And when you have the talent that you have on that offense, it's just not acceptable to not put up 30 points on a regular basis with that offense. You have the weapons. Geno Smith, I done seen teams with lesser talent put up points. Ryan Fitzpatrick, it was an average quarterback. Look what he did when he had talent. They put up points. To me, a better offensive coordinator would be getting way more out of the Seahawks. And another problem I have with the offensive coordinator is when he play against teams like the Rams, like the 49ers, good teams, his offense sputter out way too much in the game. Way too much. Go look at the Cincinnati game they played this year. The defense played a great game. The defense played a game good enough for them to win. The offense was atrocious. The offense had multiple opportunities to win this game by probably 2 scores. And they fluttered out every time. And I understand players have to make plays. I get that. But when you look at the game and you see dudes not being put in position, you see inconsistent game calling, you see runs happening where it should be played, passes happening. The pass game going good, but now we want to just try to run it for some reason. The run game going good, so now we just going to stop passing it altogether when we got these type of talent on the outside. It makes no sense. It's offenses in the NFL that don't have the talent that the Seahawks have, putting up more points on a weekly basis. That is a problem. So to me, they have to find a better offensive coordinator. And I'm not advocating for people to be fired. But what I am saying is you could get so much more out of this Seattle offense if it were a better offensive play caller at the helm. Secondly, the defensive coordinator. I'm not actually advocating to fire the defensive coordinator. But what I am telling you is a better defensive coordinator would also be getting more out of this defense because it's talent all throughout the defense on the Seahawks. I just think the Seahawks are being held back right now from 3 things. Inconsistent offense. The defense done got better week by week, which is why I'm saying I'm not necessarily advocating for the defensive coordinator to be fired. I just need more out of him on a weekly basis. But I think the defense haven't been as good as it could have been so far this season, even though they are starting to round into form. And it's just an archaic way of thinking sometimes for Pete Carroll is my third one. And that's not even just Pete Carroll. It's a combination with Pete and Geno being not necessarily a franchise quarterback. So when you got some of that archaic thinking with Pete and you got some of that Geno not necessarily being a franchise quarterback, those 3 things combined to me is what's holding the Seahawks back right now. Like, because this could be a great team. This could be a great team. And that third point is a lesser one because I think the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator things right now is far more important to me than the Pete Carroll and Geno. Another move that I really liked. Well, actually, okay, so these next 2 moves, matter of fact, let me talk about a move that I liked first. The Bills getting Rasul Douglas from the Green Bay Packers. That is a great trade. I don't know why they did not go out and make a trade like this probably 2-3 years ago, seeing as how this injury thing been going on with Tre'Davious White for about that length of time. But Rasul Douglas is a great corner. I'm going to say he a good corner who can be great. He was great with the Packers, but the Packers have a plethora of good corners over there. Plus, when you play opposite or in the middle of Jair Alexander with the other studs that they have over there on that secondary of Green Bay, the game can look a lot easier for you. The game can be a lot easier when you got that type of talent. Going to be very interesting to see how he play with the Bills, even though the Bills don't have necessarily the secondary talent that I think they have a good secondary. It's just, to me, I would take the Packers over them. But Michael Hyde, Jordan Poyer, you put Rasul Douglas in that mix, and Rasul Douglas can play outside. He can play the inside, a slot. So I like that move. I really like that move for the Bills. The next 2 moves that I want to talk about is the Montez Sweat trade and the Chase Young trade. Because these is 2 trades that I like, but it's still, up in the air type of trade. So Montez Sweat, I love. I love the player. That is a great pass rusher. Wish the Ravens had went out and traded for him. However, the problem ain't Montez. It's nowhere near Montez. it's the Bears. This could go one of two ways. Montez could be traded to a Bears team that don't necessarily continue to build, and he could end up having good years in Chicago for a team that ain't competing for nothing. Or he could end up flaming out not flaming out, just getting to the point where, bro, I'm only playing for losing organizations. It's now starting to take a toll on me. And I don't want that to happen. So that's why this is an interesting trade, because I told you, I like the Edmonds signing in the offseason. I love this Montez Sweat trade. Now, this is the thing. Montez, I think, is a free agent after this season. So this could work out for him where if this organization ain't doing what he feel like they need to do to win, if they not saying he could just leave. Now, I don't think they would franchise tag him. I don't even know if you can franchise tag somebody who you just traded. I actually do think you can. But that's going to be an interesting one. So I just want to hold out on that one, because if the Bears start to progress into becoming a good team, he could be a part of being a great defense for the Bears again, because he is a great pass rusher, in my opinion. However, if the Bears don't put together a great team and they not competing to win nothing, then it's no purpose of you bringing in Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat can end up signing with a team that's a championship contending team, and he will put a team over the hump because of how great he can come off the edge and pass rush. He is not, I pray he do not end up staying with the Bears if the Bears are not headed towards a winning culture, because I do not want to see a player like Montez Sweat start off with Washington, a team that never truly had a chance of winning, and now end up with Chicago. That's just I understand he get paid good, but that's tough when you want to win. And then the Chase Young move. That's another interesting one. Another one I wish Baltimore had made a trade for. To me, when you make a trade for Chase Young, this is like I said about, and it's the same with Sweat. It's the same for Leonard. It's the same for Byard. It's the same for Rasul. The upside that you get if these dudes hit is ridiculous. It's like Roquan Smith. I told you in the offseason last year, before the season even started, before Roquan was traded to the Ravens, that he was going to end up on the Ravens. I told you, it just made too much sense. He was the exact type of player the Ravens needed. He was a phenomenal middle linebacker who was being wasted in Chicago, which is why I don't want to see Montez be wasted, even though he's not a linebacker. And just because I watched the Ravens my whole life, I knew he was the type of middle linebacker they needed. Plus, over the last couple of years, Patrick Queen was not the middle linebacker. He could not man the middle the way you need it. It's take a certain type of middle linebacker to man the middle of a defense. Roquan Smith is that type. So I knew he was going to end up in Baltimore, because that's the type of player they would go all out. It was no way they didn't realize it. Yeah, that's a Raven. That dude was born to be a Ravens linebacker. So I get that 100%. That is an upside trade to where if Roquan did not hit for them, or if they found a way not to re-sign him, that's a miss, even though you gave up a lot to get a Roquan. But when he hits, look at what Roquan had been for the Ravens ever since. That's what you will get for Leonard Williams, Byard, Rasul Douglas, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young. Now, I know Chase Young got to get healthy. I know he got to stay healthy. But, man, I'm telling you, you put him now on a team where a defensive coordinator knows what they're doing. Okay? He not with Ron Rivera, the defensive dude who seemed to never be able to extrapolate extra greatness out of great players already. Now he is playing on a team that's been able to extract greatness out of their defensive players the last couple years. Now, even though you had talent on that Washington line, don't get it twisted. It's talent all throughout it's more talent on the defensive line of Washington than it is the 49ers. But you would never know that because Ron Rivera gets nothing out of them. I promise you, if you took these two lines, and I'm talking about put Sweat and put Chase back on the Washington line and give that Washington line with Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Sweat, and Chase Young, give them to Washington. Give them to the 49ers and take everybody on the 49ers defensive line and give them to Washington. And watch how great the 49ers defensive line still is going to be. Probably going to be better with a Jonathan Allen and a Daron Payne playing in the middle. And I just continue, it's no way that it's just the players at this point with that type of talent. And I think it's embarrassing that when you look at Washington, you look at Sweat be traded. You look at Chase Young be traded. Two dudes who were supposed to make a big difference in this team becoming a perennial threat. They didn't do that. But do we blame them or do we blame the defensive-minded head coach that could get nothing extra out of a roster full of talent on the defensive side of the ball. Because for everybody who say that Washington don't have that much talent on the offensive side of the ball, sure, Terry McLaurin might be the only true stud they have over there. That is not the case when you go to the opposite side of the ball. They have talent over the defensive side of the ball, and they've had talent on the defensive side of the ball that's either traded away, walks away, or kept there and not used properly. Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen would be so much better with a different team. Or maybe just with a different coach at this point or different organization. I don't know. But what I do know is when you take a Chase Young and you put him opposite of a Nick Bosa, you put him on a defensive line with other talent. You put him on a defense with a Fred Warner, with a Drake Greenlaw. You put him with a Kyle Shanahan now. You give him a Steve Wilkes as a DC. You give him guys who are used to winning, who want to see him succeed now. And I can almost guarantee you that this will be a high up. This is already a high upside trade for the 49ers. But I can almost promise you if he stay healthy, Chase Young is going to end up being a steal for the 49ers. And yet again, an organization proving they will go through to crazy extents to try to win. Because what would it have cost the Ravens to try to go out and get Sweat and Chase Young? But they so addicted to hoarding these fucking picks. These comp picks so they can waste on nothing. You got Odafe Owe coming off the edge on a yearly basis now, just running cardio. His production is mind-boggling bad. But you continue to go out there and line him up on that outside every year. You continue to go shine scrap heap type of pass rushes. The best pass rushes on the Ravens right now were signed during the season and before the season. And that's Jadeveon Clowney and Kyle Van Noy. But the Ravens don't want to go out and get a Sweat. They don't want to go out and get a Chase Young. They don't want to go out and get a Leonard Williams. Oh, but Saint, they went out and got Roquan Smith, and they got a top record in it. What has that gotten them in the past? See, y'all seem to be satisfied with a team that's making one good move and a bunch of nonsense. They went out and signed Odell Beckham, who came. I kept telling you in the offseason. The man's last 3 seasons, he missed 2 full seasons. And they signed him rather than getting D-Hop. Tell me the logic. That's all I want to know. The logic behind some of these stupid ass moves that the Ravens continue to make. But you look at a team like the Eagles that continue to go out and make big moves. They went out and traded for A.J. Brown. They go out and trade for Kevin Byard. You look at the Niners. They go out and trade for Chase Young. Now, the Vikings also traded for Josh Dobbs. I don't really have too much to say about that. Kirk Cousins obviously tore his ACL, or Achilles, so they trying to manage the rest of the season. Josh Dobbs is the guy who's going to. I don't think this will be like a serious contending threat, but you know. The Lions go out and get Donovan Peoples-Jones. That don't really move the needle for me, but you know, he another receiver for him. The Jags get Ezra Cleveland. That don't really move the needle for me also. But the Rasul Douglas, the Leonard Williams, the Kevin Byard, the Montez Sweat, the Chase Young, those are great trades. Those are phenomenal trades if they all hit. If all these trades, and all of them probably won't hit, I understand that. But if they do, my God. Now, I'm done talking about that. What I want to talk about is the teams that did not trade players that they should have traded, or teams that did not trade when they should have made trades. Like the Ravens, who did not make trades that they should have made. They haven't had a great runner in how long? Not named Lamar Jackson. But they chose not to go out and try to trade for a Josh Jacobs, a Derrick Henry, or another running back that was out there. Because you saw the 49ers go out and get a Christian McCaffrey. You keep seeing teams willing to go the extra mile to make a play to get players who they feel will help their team. But the Ravens won't, because they don't want to spend this type of money. They don't want to lose comp picks that they're going to waste on players that don't provide anything to winning, that don't move the needle. They keep getting players that need to be great in a group rather than players who can stand out in the pack. And that's my problem with the Ravens. Kevin Byard could end up being a top safety for the Eagles. That's a standout. Kevin Sweat can end up being a top pass rusher. That's a standout. Same for Chase Young. Same for Rasul Douglas. Same for Leonard Williams. These is guys whose upside can make them the best players at their positions or one of the tops at their positions. That's not what the Ravens are doing. Yes, obviously, people are going to say, oh, they went out and got the Roquan. Obviously, yes, they got the Roquan. Now, name another. And name something they done to help Lamar on the offensive side of the ball, okay? Because I'm tired of y'all letting them get away with, oh, the defense. The Ravens always going and getting defensive play. That's why I knew they was going to get Roquan before he even was traded. When he requested the trade, I said, okay, yeah, the Ravens are going to go sign him. You don't believe me? Just go watch the shows. But the most disgusting thing that happened to me at the trade deadline was the Raiders. And I'm telling you, man, this is exactly why I feel like somebody need to come in and govern these teams. Why in God's name would you not trade Devontae Adams at the break? I mean, before the deadline. Now, I done got on here multiple times and told you, I am not a fan of keeping a player on my team that don't want to be there. But this is completely different. I'm not finna have a player throwing hissy fucking fits on the sideline every fucking week. And the Raiders have no shot at winning. Why would you keep Devontae Adams? This is my problem. You keep telling me that players need to be this, players need to be that. Why would a team that know they have no chance of winning not just want to get this great player to a different team where he can have a chance of winning? Because the Raiders are not even tanking. So they don't have a shot at getting a great quarterback in the draft. The Raiders are actively still trying to win. If you saw Monday Night Football, that was one of the saddest things. And I keep seeing this, and this is why I keep bringing this man up, because it's really pissing me off having to watch this. When you watch how much better Max Crosby is than everybody on the defensive side of the ball, usually for both teams, but always for his team. When you see how much better he is than everybody else, and shout out Marcus Peters, Juice, pick 6 in that game. But when you see how much better he is on a consistent weekly basis than everybody else on his team, and you realize nobody else on the defensive side of the ball is anywhere near as good as this dude, why is he still sitting on this team? When you could clearly extract. I know every NFL team saw that game that Max Crosby played on Monday night. I know they saw a one-man wrecking crew do everything he could to try to win his team a game. They see that on a weekly basis with Max Crosby. And the Raiders didn't trade him. I'm willing to tell you right now, it's two dudes in the NFL right now that could have been traded and would have got you huge packages, and it was not even close. And I'm almost certain that it would have happened. And it's two dudes right now. One is Max Crosby. Two is Aaron Donald. Both of them should have been traded. Both of them. Both of them could have netted you big packages. Aaron Donald is 30-something and still could have got you a first round pick because he's still a monster. He's still the best at what he does. Okay? I think he had 3 sacks last week. Aaron Donald could go to a team right now and still be the best player on that team. That's how good he is. I think some people who hate Aaron Donald continue to forget that when you look at the Rams defense, forget the fact that the secondary and the linebacking core are not the best. He has no help on the defensive line. The doubles and triples he was getting before is only turning into triples, 4 people defending him because they have no fear of anybody else on the defensive line for the Rams. He should have been traded. The Rams have no chance of winning anytime soon, it looks like. Okay, let me change that. Some people might think the Rams could be winners because you got Puka, you got Coop, you got Donald. You have nothing else on the defensive side of the ball. That is not going to work. 2, you're hoping that all those young pieces on the defensive side of the ball bang into something, like flip quickly into something. 3, you got way too much faith in Matthew Stafford. I didn't have faith in him when we won the Super Bowl. I damn sure have no more faith in him now. Aaron Donald should have been traded, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. Max Crosby should have been traded to start the year. Max Crosby should have been traded in the offseason. The Raiders knew coming into the season they had no shot at winning. And they were sitting on a gold mine. They are sitting on the play. I don't know if it's a player in the NFL right now under the same circumstances that could net you more in a trade right now than Max Crosby. And I'm not talking about a great player on a great team. I'm talking about a phenomenal player on a terrible team. I don't know if it's a better one. than Max Crosby. Obviously Aaron Donald, but the Rams are not terrible like the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible to me. They have no shot at being great. Yet they still chose to hold on to Max Crosby. That makes no fucking sense. None. And this is why I understand when players do throw hissy fits on the sideline all the time. Because why am I here? I understand people gonna be like, well, he still get paid to do a job. I don't give a fuck about none of that. This man should not be suffocating his career on the Raiders. He is asked to go out there and do his job, but the Raiders are not going out there doing their job. And this is ridiculous that he is having to put up with this shit. If it was quarterback, everybody feel bad for him. But for some reason, because it's not a quarterback, people ain't saying nothing about it. Max Crosby would be a top 5 pass rusher in football if he were on a contending team. And the thing that's sad to me is you don't never want to see a player like Max Crosby lose that fire. But when you play a player like him on a team that is so ass over a multitude of years, that could be something that start to happen. So I'm praying that he find a way to get the fuck out of Vegas, because he is too good. And this is one of them things where I pray he realized that this cannot be about the money. He gonna make up the money. He is too good not to be competing for a team that's actually a contender. It's just plain and simple. If you thought J.J. Watt was being wasted all those years with the Texans because they had no legitimate chance to win, and then you saw the back end of his career, how he started to play for contenders, but he couldn't be the same J.J. Watt, that's going to happen to Max Crosby if he end up staying in Vegas. And I'm not telling you that he is prime J.J. Watt, but what I'm telling you is he one of the best pass rushers in football. He just played for a team with no other body on the team. No other person on his defense can help take pressure off of what offensive lines do to him. Like if an offensive line coming to the game wanting to double him, that's what's gonna happen. Like it's nobody else on their line is gonna make them say, oh, you know what, maybe we'll double this guy. It's not gonna happen. So to me, the Raiders not going out and trading Devontae and Max Crosby and Josh Jacobs is embarrassing. Not necessarily for Josh Jacobs, because I don't think he was ever getting traded, because I don't think it was a team out there that was gonna be willing to trade for asking price that wasn't at least like 4th round picks. Nobody was giving up 2nd and 1st round for Josh Jacobs. It's not because of Josh Jacobs bad. It's because it's how the running back market is. Another team that pissed me off. Well, not pissed me off. A team that some people I'm seeing get mad at, saying, oh, they should have made a move, I actually don't think they should have made a move, and that's the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots should have sat exactly where the fuck they was at. Who you gonna bring over that's gonna help New England right now? Who you gonna subtract that's gonna you know what? I take that back. They should have traded Matt Judon. That's another pass rusher who the Ravens pissed me off not going for. Matt Judon is too good of a player who now starting to have his career die out because he playing for a team that's bad on a consistent basis. Matt Judon could have got the Patriots like a 2nd or 3rd. I don't know why they don't trade Matt Judon. That one actually was very confusing to me. Aside from not trading Matt Judon, however, it wasn't shit the Patriots could have done to make this team better. Now, the team who I actually thought should have made a trade was Miami. Miami should have traded for another pass rusher, in my opinion, especially when you see what Sweat and Chase Young went for. I think they should have went out and tried to bring in a Matt Judon or Keith Sweat or a Montez Sweat. I thought both of those type of players would have been great players to add to the pass rush of Miami, because I still don't trust Bradley Chubb all the time. And I just feel like Miami's defense is the one thing that's not keeping up with that offense. And if you feel like you can go out there and keep outscoring people on a weekly basis, I just think that's a silly way of thinking. To me, they should have went out and tried to add another pass rusher. And I understand you got Jalen Ramsey back. I'm not telling you that this is a bad organization. The Dolphins have everything they need to win right now in-house. When teams say that, I don't believe it. The Dolphins can say that. However, I don't think it would have hurt them to add a pass rusher. I'm going to be a whole band with you. I really do think they should have added another pass rusher. Another team that has kind of pissed me off not making a move, trade, was Tennessee. They should have traded D-Hop. I do not know how after the game he had last week, you do not go out and trade him to the Bills or to another team that needed a receiver. That's wild to me. It's irritating that the Ravens didn't try to go out and trade for him. Kansas City not going out and trading for a receiver. Ignorance upon fucking ignorance. I'm telling you. Another team that pissed me off not going out and making a move. Detroit not going out and getting another pass rusher to play opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. That pissed me off. Like, it's teams that's saying they want to go win a Super Bowl, but you're not doing some of the things to me that I think. Because what the fuck does Donovan Peoples-Jones do for Detroit? Nothing. But you know what Montez Sweat would have done for Detroit? That's all I'm saying. Jacksonville. I actually not mad at nothing they didn't do or did do. So you can leave them off the list. I actually think the Giants should have traded Dexter Lawrence, even though I think he just got re-signed. So I don't think you could have traded him. But I thought that was a dude they should have tried to trade. They also should have traded Saquon Barkley, but they didn't do that. But we done established early in the season that the Giants are a terrible organization. So that's why I didn't go over them throughout the video. I thought the Jets should have tried to go out and get DeAndre Hopkins, but the Jets have everything they need in-house. They just need Aaron Rodgers to get healthy. So I wasn't tripping on that heavy. I thought Carolina should have went out and tried to trade for, I'm playing with you. Carolina should not have went out and tried to trade for no motherfucking body if it wasn't DeAndre Hopkins. The fact that they didn't go trade for DeAndre Hopkins, it do kind of irritate me, but I understand it because he don't want to be in that situation. He trying to win, so fuck it. But it's going to be hard for Carolina to find a number one receiver. That's a number one receiver right now that's not in a mentality of, bro, I'm trying to win right now. Tyreek already had a Super Bowl when he went to Tua. So it was easy for him to want to play with Tua. He already got his ring. He got his bag now. Devontae ain't got his ring yet. So I can understand that one. I'm trying to see if there's any more moves. Oh! Now, this I remember what the move it was that I remember what the move was that irritated the fuck out of me. Every team that was talking about Lamar Jackson, oh, we don't want to trade for Lamar Jackson. We don't want you must have thought I wasn't gonna say nothing about that. It's real funny now at the trade deadline how Mac Jones and Mac, I love you, playing like ass. Desmond Ridder playing like ass. The Titans, every quarterback they had up until Will Levis played Sunday, playing like ass. Where's some Vegas? Garoppolo playing like ass. Let me find another team on this bit. The Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, not even playing before he left, playing like ass. So you got all these teams who didn't want Lamar Jackson, who are now trading away the farm in some of these situations because they fucking suck. And I imagine what you would be right now if you had tried to go out and trade 2 first rounders for a clear franchise quarterback that you probably won't even get if you got 2 first round picks and you drafting, as evident by the fact that you're selling the farm right now. So to all those teams that said in the summertime, we don't want Lamar Jackson, I hope you go choke on a sick dick tonight. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Go out there and make somebody's day. Go out there and treat others the way you would like to be treated. Listen. We live in a world where love is more painful than hurt now. But that's all right. We about to change that. We about to make love again. All right? Positive vibes only. Like I said, if you in a place where mentally you need that refresher, you need that break, take your hand off the baton. Let somebody else run the race for you. You take a breather. And when you're ready, get back in this thing with us, all right? Peace and positivity. That's what we preaching over here. I want you all to have a dope day. I want you all to go out there and try to make somebody else's day better, all right? I fuck with you. I love you. Like, subscribe, share. I know I don't say that enough throughout the video and in the beginning of videos, but that's because I be vibing. But like, subscribe, share. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty ran track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.